Important part, an interesting part of how people have talked about your role here is how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. And I'm not sure you planned on that, but you are an incredibly supportive spouse. Has that been an evolution for you? And do you think that's part of the role you might play as first gentleman?
It's funny. I've started to think a lot about this. I've always been like this. My dad was like this. And to me,
well, is he supposed to be the example of masculinity and maleness now?
I guess so. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and we had Carl Weathers and Mr. T and Arnold and Sly. And I swear, and I'm not, you ask any young guy who grew up during that era, and I said this earlier, you watch a Rocky movie, after that, you're doing some push-ups, okay? You're running around the reservoir, right? It's end-stage empires all have a few similar characteristics. Androgyny and a watering down of masculinity is one of those things. And that actually contributes to empires eventually getting their asses kicked by cultures who are not observing that, okay? Like in this case, the Russians and the Chinese, all right? As much as feminists would like to believe, look, Gloria Steinem didn't storm the beaches of Normandy, okay? Gloria Steinem did not put her foot on the surface of the moon not knowing what would happen when she jumped out of that craft, okay? It is what it is. And women better be careful, because if Kamala is elected, we're going into war with Russia. And they've already signaled that they want to give you ladies a whole bunch of diversity, equity, and inclusion on the front lines. Okay. So yeah, if he's the new symbol of masculinity in America, then yeah, we're in trouble.
Star Trek told us this however many years ago, and they were already in the 21st and 22nd century, right? I love Star Trek: The Next Generation, so Data is the character that comes to mind. They already told us this, that this is what was going to happen. So people poo-poo Star Trek. I love the originals. I love The Next Generation, but it's coming to for war. It's coming to reality. All of these things that we have been told about. Similarly to what was the Will Smith movie? Him and Gene Hackman, Enemy of the State.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Put all these things together. Is it art imitating life, or is it life imitating art?
Yeah, it's scary times, guys. And we were just talking about this UN summit of the future, and the idea of them talking about all of this AI. This is coming, and they're preparing us by this whole androgynous culture push, as you mentioned, Tyrone. It's the idea of forging robot with human. And so when you think about that, this is why we're getting pushed this transgender, they want to get rid of gender altogether and kind of give us this androgyny, because when you think about the forging of human and robot, there's no gender there. When you think about the idea of parentless society, the children are all belong to society, to the government. Again, it's that whole forging of AI or robot and human. There's no parents there. There's no gender there. They want to get us okay with this whole idea of, intercourse with robots. So why not say it's no problem with, they start off with homosexuality, and then you go to the idea of, transgenderism. So you got the fusion of male and female. Next is going to be, they're already talking about children they are autonomous. There's nothing wrong with age. There's no age difference between female children and adult. Let them, have intercourse and things. That's going to be the next thing. Animals. It's coming, and people just don't want to see it. And it always takes me back to when Dennis Prager was on Bill Maher's show many years ago. I think it was like 10 years ago. And he was talking to them, telling them, the left talks about men can menstruate.
Right.
And they were looking at him. There was a panel of leftists. We're like, what are you talking about? You've lost it, man. Men can't menstruate. Here we are today. This is something they're pushing. Our own VP candidate for Kamala's VP candidate is trying to put tampons in the men's bathroom.
Yeah. It is God's first commandment. A lot of people forget the first commandment, which was be fruitful and multiply. A lot of what you see in the left is absolutely contrary to life, okay, and the perpetuation of it, all right? This whole robot SEX doll, okay, is one of those things. Can you imagine if that thing malfunctioned? But I digress. It's just, I mean, can you imagine?
It's like anybody who wants to use that, I hope it does malfunction right when it's down below, and they would probably never want to use a robot again.
They may not ever be able to use a robot ever again. Yeah. So, in many ways, the left is just a death cult. Okay. They don't even want you to be able to protect yourself and your family from the growing crime problem in America. And someone will say, oh, no, the crime's going down. No, it isn't. Localities are not reporting to the FBI.
Exactly.
So you got skewed statistics. Okay. There's no way I'm going to wake up every morning and open Fox Baltimore's news site and see 3 or 4 murders and a shooting, and you're going to tell me crime is going down. No, you're not reporting it, is what's going on.
Yeah.